This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us tonight. The backlash continues to rage in Virginia. Republicans are now openly criticizing the president, even questioning his ability to lead after his contentious news conference and combative tweets earlier this week. Outside of Washington, the criticism continues. The mother of the woman killed during the rallies in Charlottesville says she will not meet with the president.
What he said about my child, and it's not that I saw somebody else's tweets about him. I saw an actual clip of him at a press conference equating the protesters like Ms. Heyer with the KKK and the white supremacists.
I'm not putting anybody on.
The president's response to Charlottesville is even more under a microscope now in the wake of the Barcelona attack. President Trump immediately denounced the terrorism there on Twitter, and today he tweeted that radical Islamic terrorism must be stopped. The mayor of Charlottesville wants the governor to host an emergency meeting to allow the city to remove its Confederate statue. Mayor Mike Signer says that the city must respond to last weekend's attacks by, quote, denying the Nazis and the KKK the so-called alt-right and twisted totem they seek. He wants the lawmakers to pass legislation that would allow communities to ban people from carrying open or concealed weapons in public events that could pose a security threat. Meanwhile, closer to home, some groups want a Confederate statue in Bradenton to come down, while others want it to remain. Manatee County commissioners want to make sure that the group's upcoming protests about this issue remain peaceful, but they're also considering whether this hotly debated statue should stay in place in the long term. ABC7's Rick Adams has more on what commissioners decided today.
Well, Manatee County commissioners held the emergency meeting right across the street from here. This Confederate monument is certainly stirring up quite a bit of controversy. Should the Confederate monument stay or should it go? That was the burning question at Friday's special commissioners meeting. Commissioners and folks on both sides of the issue had a chance to have their voices heard.
I think it should be removed. It represents one thing. It is a part of history, and it should be put in a museum or, in an area that's not meant for justice for all. The courthouse is meant for justice.
It's our history. It celebrates our veterans. Why would you be against our veterans?
This Confederate monument currently sits near the historic courthouse in Bradenton. After a 3-hour discussion, commissioners voted 4-3 in favor of not removing it at the moment, mainly because of legal concerns some commission members had.
The commissioners who voted to remove it showed a lot of courage, but overall I think the 4 commissioners that voted against it are pretty spineless.
At one point, James Anderson was escorted out of the meeting for being too disruptive. He says he's a supporter of having the Confederate monument stay right where it is.
I don't believe any statue in Manatee County or the United States should be removed of any type. Okay, especially the Civil War.
Those in favor of removing the statue plan to march from the Bradenton Riverwalk to the monument, while those in support of keeping the statue will protest in front of the courthouse. And county officials tell us it looks like this protest will go on as scheduled this Monday night at 6:30. Reporting from downtown Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Rick. A majority of commissioners did vote in favor of having the monument covered during Monday's protest, but it's not known yet if they will actually move forward with covering it for that event. The Manatee County Clerk of Court's office, though, plans to close early on Monday ahead of these protests. The office learned that the protests would start around the end of the business day, so it's closing more than 3 hours early at 1 p.m. The clerk says it is a matter of safety for customers and employees following the recent events like the Charlottesville rally, which erupted in violence. Another shakeup at the White House. President Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon, is the latest top advisor forced out. And back at his right-leaning news organization, Breitbart News. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest.
Speculation had been growing recently over whether Steve Bannon's time in the White House was limited, and today the White House confirming he's out. It's the 4th major shakeup of the Trump administration in as many weeks. The announcement just days after President Trump wouldn't commit to saying whether he had confidence in Bannon.
He's a good man. He is not a racist, I can tell you that. He's a good person. He actually gets a very unfair press in that regard. But
we'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon, but he's a good person, and I think the press treats him, frankly, very unfairly.
Many close to Trump had been privately urging him in recent weeks to fire Bannon, who had fought with several people inside the White House, including Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Now, with the exception of Mike Pence, all of the president's original men are out. In the last month, first Press Secretary Sean Spicer resigned, then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Anthony Scaramucci resigned as Communications Director after just 10 days, and now Steve Bannon. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
A proposed Florida House bill would make it illegal to leave a child unattended in a car. Right now, there are loopholes in the law, such as leaving a child alone in a vehicle that is turned off for no more than 15 minutes. But even in a short span of time, the temperature can rise to well over 100 degrees. And if the weather is nice, there are other concerns, like the car potentially being stolen with the child inside.
I think people become complacent, and that's when accidents happen. I think that they think nothing bad will ever happen to them and that they're invincible.
If passed by the House and Senate and signed by the governor, the bill would go into effect next year. And now we're going to check in with our first alert meteorologist, Steve Newman, who is in for Bob tonight. Steve.
Thanks, Haley. It's a warm night across the Sun Coast, but a beautiful night. 79 the current temperature, heat index 82. It was 100. The heat index was 100 earlier today. But the official high was only 90. That's right on money for normal. Last night's low 75, which is a degree warmer than normal. So not so much out of the ordinary, but it did feel unusually hot today. It's going to probably feel hotter tomorrow as most of the clouds will be gone, and with more bright sunshine coming down on us without the clouds to break it up, it's probably going to feel broiling in many areas with heat indexes between 105 and 108. We had some storms across a lot of Florida today, but they're easing up, and our futurecast that takes us for the rest of tonight shows, except maybe out in the Gulf of Mexico, it may see some storms, but light and variable winds over the interior and temperatures slowly cooling off to our overnight low temperature of around 78 degrees. I have so much to talk about between the eclipse and the tropics. I may not be able to fit it all in. Hope you'll stay tuned, though. Haley?
Thank you, Steve. In Sarasota County, a man is behind bars for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The sheriff's office says it responded to a business in the 1600 block of North Lockwood Ridge Road. Deputies met with the victim, who said he was in an argument with another man who had a knife, and then he fled the area. Deputies found Tyler Smith on Lockwood Ridge, who admitted to being involved in this incident. Smith let deputies search his vehicle. They found a knife in the trunk of his car. He remains at the Sarasota County Jail. You may see more Florida Highway Patrol troopers out on the road tonight. They are hosting a wolf pack operation overnight until 5 a.m. Troopers will focus on removing impaired drivers from local roads and will focus on I-75 as well. The troopers will be traveling around the area while monitoring traffic, making sure drivers under the influence are removed from the roadway. The Sarasota Police Department is also making sure drivers are sober when they get behind the wheel. They say the upcoming Labor Day holiday is one of the deadliest because of the number of drunk drivers on the road. Starting today, the Police Department and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they're sharing some more messages about the dangers of driving impaired and the plans for officers to be out on the roadways in full force. The group's Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign runs through Labor Day, September 4th. The Hollywood 20 movie theater in downtown Sarasota will be going through some new renovations this fall. Regal Cinema is putting $3 million into this project. Regal has already applied for permits and hopes to get started by mid to late September. Once complete, the cinema will go from 20 theaters down to 11 inside the building. Some frequent moviegoers are hoping for some additional upgrades.
We'd like to see improved seating, more comfortable seats. But otherwise, we love this movie theater.
The toilet, the restroom, and it's so outdated.
One of the owners of the plaza tells us he hopes to have all of these renovations complete before the start of tourist season. Straight ahead, meteorologist Steve Newman will be back with the first alert forecast. Plus, as the manhunt continues for more suspects in the Barcelona terror attacks, people there are not shying away from coming out to the very area where it happened. And could there finally be a break in the case of the disappearance of Natalie Holloway?
For the last 18 years, Samantha's Friends has been assisting people along the Sun Coast who have been challenged by catastrophic illnesses or affected by autism obtain a service canine. We need your help. Please show your support by attending our annual Celebrity Gala brunch and fundraiser. Call Sammy Lee at 941-448-8558 for more information.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
So here I think that's, you will not believe, if you haven't tried these on yet, how blacked out
you can't see anything, even the bright studio lights.
Yeah, even if you look up here, so that's why they're protective. That's why
if you have your sunglasses, your eclipse glasses, you should not be able to see anything but the sun, and the sun should be dim.
Right.
And they should be approved, of course. We'll have the complete forecast for the eclipse coming up. A lot to talk about, but today was a beautiful day at the beach from our KCK webcam, and it was all day long. There were some storms offshore, but they never quite made it down to Casey Key, although a lot of areas of our viewing area did get some thunderstorms. And look at that. If that isn't Florida living at its best at sunset, I don't know what is. Across the state, the thunderstorms we had have thinned out, and they're just going to get less and less as the evening goes on, mainly out over the Gulf of Mexico. We had some storms up in the Arcadia area, had a lot of lightning too, and down around Collier and Lee County, a severe thunderstorm for a while, but it is dry right now all across our viewing area. Now on our satellite, you can clearly see there's something going on here. There is an upper level low that has been pivoting from the Bahamas across Florida today. It shows up a little better in our water vapor image, which shows atmospheric moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And you can see this dry air blowing over the state aloft, and that should limit the amount of thunderstorms we'll have tomorrow, only for one day though. That doesn't mean there can't be any. That moisture at the surface, if it's heated, can lift up in thunderstorms, which is what happened today. So just because you got dry air aloft doesn't mean we won't see any, but I think tomorrow will be drier than today. Now our tropical weather outlook. We have three things to talk about. African easterly wave has a 30% chance of developing in the mid-Atlantic, and we have Invest 91L, a 50% chance of developing. We'll come back to this in a minute. First, we want to look at Tropical Storm Harvey. Now, it is just being slammed by wind shear. You can just see that. It does. The center of circulation is back here, but a lot of the clouds are on the forward side of it. So because of that, it's not probably going to make it to hurricane force over the weekend, with wind speeds 45 right on through Sunday, maybe getting up to 65 as it skirts Honduras. It could be a problem if this forecast is right for the Gulf Coast late next week. We'll be looking at that very closely. Now back to Invest 91L, and everybody's been all excited about this because the spaghetti plot shows it just taking a beeline right for Florida, but that's only something taking a beeline. What is going to be taking a beeline? Well, not very much at all. And we look at the GFS forecast of pressure and wind. This is it. That's Harvey, and this is the Invest. As we move for the next several days, you can see it never really gets a central circulation. It kind of washes out by the time it gets here. So we'll look at it, but I'm not terribly worried about that particular system. I'm not worried about a lot of people being able to see the solar eclipse, which will go from coast to coast. The green shows great viewing conditions. John Scalzi is going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm going to be just outside Nashville. We're in the green now. We hope we both get to see totality for like 2.5 minutes. The GFS forecast model shows maybe some clouds for him, not for me. The European, though, which I prefer, shows a lot of the country will have clear skies. Here's our futurecast for the weekend, showing tomorrow a mainly dry day. Late afternoon could see a few interior storms developing, and then it really increases in coverage on Sunday as that moisture comes back up and will bring us local cooling and storms. Again, that's on Sunday. Here's our forecast for the next 7 days, showing tomorrow only about a 20 to 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, goes up to 50% on Sunday, which I think you're going to like, and then pretty much seasonal average as we move through the rest of the week. I fly up to Nashville first thing tomorrow morning. I saw an eclipse in 1991 in Hawaii. This will be my second. I hope the skies are clear, Haley.
Thank you, Steve. Tonight in Spain, an urgent manhunt underway searching for the suspects in those deadly terror attacks, first in Barcelona and then down the coast in Cambrils, killing 14 people and injuring at least 120. People were out on the streets on Las Ramblas again today, marching and mourning in solidarity. ABC's Molly Hunter reports from Barcelona.
Tonight, paying tribute as we've seen too many times across Europe. Candles lit, flowers laid, this time in Barcelona. Terror swept across the country in the last 24 hours. Here in Barcelona, a white van hopped the curb, swerved towards the crowds, and mowed down pedestrians. Traveling this path at 50 miles per hour, finally coming to a stop. More than 100 wounded and more than a dozen dead, including this man, Jared Tucker.
We have now received word and confirmed the death of one American citizen.
The 42-year-old California native traveling with his wife, Heidi.
There was screaming and yelling, and I just ended up further and further away without my husband.
His family struggling to make sense of the randomness of it all.
He was just a neat guy. He and I were really close.
Down the coast in the seaside town of Cambrils, another car ramming attack. This is the moment officers engage one attacker armed with a knife. Shot after shot, and he goes down, only to get up again, lunging at police. 5 suspects shot dead there, 4 others arrested back in Barcelona. And this morning, crowds here chanting, "We are not afraid." Shaken, but defiant. And that's still the sense hours later, a city coming together, but also on edge all day long, because some of those attackers may still be on the loose. Molly Hunter, ABC News, Barcelona.
After more than 12 years of heartbreak and searching, the family of Natalie Holloway may have a breakthrough. Holloway vanished in 2005 in Aruba. Her father says that he and a private investigator have found human remains there. Joran Vandersloot, long considered the prime suspect in Holloway's disappearance, is serving a prison sentence in Peru for an unrelated murder. Holloway's father says his family has faced some challenges in this investigation since Vandersloot's relatives are high-ranking officials.
The acting police chief at the time was Joran Vandersloot's godfather and Paulus Vandersloot's best friend. So we go into this island the very first day, second day. They've already interviewed Joran Vandersloot, Deepak, and Satish Kalpo, and basically said they had nothing to do with this.
The family is waiting to see if the remains belong to Holloway. DNA testing could take several weeks. With the solar eclipse on Monday, many people have simple questions like, Why is this so unique? A total solar eclipse occurs every few years in certain areas like the South Pacific or the Antarctic, but it is rare that it will cut diagonally across the entire U.S. The path of totality, where day briefly looks like nighttime, a total eclipse. It will pass over the sky from Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina. The last time the solar eclipse swept over the whole width of the United States was almost 100 years ago in 1918.
And to get that just perfect alignment, it just only lasts a couple of minutes. The moon's shadow that it casts down on the Earth for this eclipse, that path of totality is only about 70 miles wide, so it shoots across pretty quickly.
Remember, looking up at the sun during a solar eclipse can permanently damage your eyes. You must wear these approved glasses. Remember these? Or these are actually, Steve has the fancy ones. These are plastic and everything. Most of them are just those paper ones, but if they have the ISO number, you're good to go. Sports is next.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust. It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Rays back at home tonight, also returning to his home turf, Kevin Kiermaier, after months of healing a hip fracture. The Rays taking on the Mariners tonight. Top of the first, Seattle's Nelson Cruz drives the ball to deep center field for the RBI double to put the Mariners on the board. Now, top of the fourth, the Mariners up by 3 with runners on second and third. Mike Zunino hits one off the center field wall for the 2-run RBI double, pulling the Mariners up by 5. The Rays finally get on the board in the bottom of the 6th, scoring 1 run, but the Mariners hold on to their lead. Final score, 7-1. Baseball legend Derek Jeter's wife, Hannah Davis, has given birth to the couple's first child. The Players Tribune tweeted today that Jeter's daughter, Bella Rain Jeter, was born on Thursday. The former New York Yankees star and his wife announced that in February they were expecting. They were married last summer. The Yankees tweeted out their big congratulations to the family. Jameis Winston kept his solid preseason going during last night's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He completed 21 of 29 passes for 196 yards, leading to a big win for the Buccaneers. Winston also had 2 passes dropped. One of those could have been a 43-yard touchdown to Mike Evans in the first quarter. He hopes his team makes the most out of the moments handling the ball.
I'm not going to discriminate. If you're open, you're open. You're going to get the ball. Everybody going to get the opportunity to make some plays. It's just when you get it, do what you do.
The Bucs will have their next preseason game next Saturday, taking on Cleveland at home. Football season is here for high school players. Can you believe it? Almost. We're in the preseason. There were a couple of games taking place tonight on the Suncoast. In Palmetto, the Tigers beat Booker High School in a shutout, 28-0. The Venice Indians taking on Tampa's Plant High School. Plant wins this one 46-42. And we will show you highlights from those games like teams Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Manatee High, when Football Friday Night returns next Friday. You can catch scores and highlights every Friday night starting next week at 11:15 p.m. But you are required to watch the 11 o'clock news before that, okay? We'll be right back with our lotto numbers.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $10 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help. Sometimes.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service among non-contract wireless providers.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change. Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch now, and for a limited time, get a $20 credit on any new line of service. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
One young football player hopes to make his high school's team, but he has a disability that makes football even tougher. Joe Gavriloff is one of the biggest players, but he has nearly 70% hearing loss in both ears. Doctors don't know why he lost his hearing when he was 5, but the coaches and players are accommodating. They are trained to scream extra loud for Joe to hear while playing. He wants everyone to know that they can do anything they put their mind to.
Absolutely.
So, good luck. Go for it.
And like me, I've been working 3 years to go to the eclipse.
To go to the eclipse. You put your mind to it and you're doing it.
With this station's first weather intern, meteorologist Scott Silverman will be going with me.
Very
who
cool.
just texted me and told me I was referring to Invest 92L as 91L.
Clearly
Thanks,
he was a good intern because
yes,
he's still checking in. So you guys are going to have a great time. Hopefully we'll see all the pictures and the stuff that you have when you come back next week.
Absolutely.
So, okay, have fun. Enjoy it. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. And be safe when you watch the eclipse.